And I feel at home. Welcome to my dear minute on your
I was saying before, this afternoon we'll have the draw for the Men's World Cup 2026 in Canada, Mexico, and United States. And for the first time in history, 9 or 10 African countries will participate in this World Cup. From 5 to 9, at least, potentially 10 countries, double the number of countries than before. Those of you who, like me, are around these meetings for some years or even some decades now, they remember that for many years, or many decades even, people were speaking about maybe moving the African participation to the World Cup from 5 to 6 participants. Well, 1 year after my election as FIFA president, we moved not from 5 to 6, but from 5 to 9 or 10 participants. And this is significant because it will allow you, your governments, your football people to invest in football with a real chance to participate in the pinnacle of world football, in the World Cup. I think that some of the legends who are here, they might want to go back to play. You are still all very fit because you have more chances, double the chances than in the past to play in a World Cup. We know as well, though, that in order to perform well, we need to invest. And of course, our gratitude goes here in Côte d'Ivoire to the government for investing in football, investing in the African Cup of Nations, to all the governments of Africa, to all the associations, and finally as well to CAF and FIFA. Again, those of you who were there a few years ago, they remember that before 2016, before you elected me president of FIFA, FIFA was investing in African football in a 4-year cycle, a little bit more than $70 million US. Today, it is more than $500 million US that we are investing in the same time period, more than 7 times more money invested in youth, in football, in girls, in boys, to make this beautiful continent shine. And thanks to the participation in the competitions and to the increased investments, well, there are, of course, many more opportunities. Now, this year is as well the year of women's football, as you know, and the Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand will start in 1 week from now. The best of luck, of course, to the 4 African representatives, a record again, 4 teams, 2 for the first time, Zambia and Morocco, and 2 who have already played in World Cups, Nigeria and South Africa. I'm sure Africa will do very well. It could have been 6 participants, but this time it is still 4. Hopefully for you, next time it will be even more than that, because the opportunities are there, and I'm sure that women's football is shining as well in Africa, as we have seen from some of the images we saw earlier today. Beautiful matches, great goals for men, for women, and thinking about women's football, we are looking all, of course, very much forward to what is happening in 1 week from now. Down under and the other part of the world in Australia and New Zealand, so we can continue to invest in the game. And we are investing in the game as partners with CAF, with Africa, with all of you, through the Forward program and through other projects, through other ideas, through other plans. A very, very exciting project that is very dear to me, which will start on the 20th of October of this year, is a new, brand new African Football League for the best clubs of the continent, an inaugural edition, and I'm sure your president, Patrice Motsepe, will tell you more about that. An inaugural edition with 8 great teams from Africa, which will then be followed in the coming year by a big version of that, because we need to invest, of course, as well in club football as we do in national team football. And we have to make African national team football and African club football shine on the stage of the entire world. It's our responsibility, it is our duty, it is our task, and with the work and the contribution of all of us as a team, we will definitely succeed and make African football even bigger. Talent is obviously not a problem in Africa. You have so many talents all over the continent, and including with many African players who are growing up in other parts of the world, from Europe to America to Asia. But as you know as well, we have developed a talent development scheme under the leadership of Arsene Wenger. Talent development scheme will make sure that every single talent in every single country in the world can be detected and can be grown and brought forward, because today not every talent everywhere in the world has the same opportunity to shine. We have to give every talent an opportunity, and we have been developing this talent development scheme, which we are putting in place now. Out of the 126 countries in the world who have applied for this project, 32 are Africans, which is great. But there are still 22 African countries who have not yet applied for that project. Of course, it is free to apply. You receive a subvention, you receive a full-time FIFA coaching expert who will be in your country together with your coaches and build up a real FIFA academy in every one of your countries. So to the 22 countries who have not yet applied, well, have a look at it. You still have until September to apply and to make sure that you have more chances for the talents in your country to shine at the global stage. We are working on other projects as well, projects for the professionalization of club management, because it's important that clubs are managed in a professional way. It's important for the African Football League, it's important for football at national and international level, again in partnership with CAF, and in partnership with CAF and FIFPro as well, a project to help current national team players from Africa to make them better on, and particularly, of course, off the pitch, to prepare them for the future. So there is a lot at stake, there is a lot to do. We are here, we are ready, we are engaging, we are fighting, we are enjoying, and we are participating in this booming of African football. So again, thank you for having me here in my continent. Thank you for welcoming me. Enjoy the Congress, enjoy the draw later today, and enjoy football. All the best. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Shukran.
Thank you. Yeah, let me first give you our present. Can we clap hands for President Infantino, please? And we will do it the African way. He says he's got something for all of us, but we must first give him. We'll ask Madame Kaniza and Veron on behalf of Africa to give a special pennant, a special recognition. Can we clap hands for President Infantino, please? Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you. You say you've got something for Madame Kaniza?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's for Madame Kaniza and for you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, my brother. I saw Mrs. Motsepe loves it, JIONI, and she says she's going to take that home and show her boys at home. Okay, we'll now proceed because we're chasing that time to make sure we've got a global link up for the draw of the FIFA World Cup. So we're going to move forward as quickly as we can. It's a great honor for me, for CAF, for African football, to welcome our brother, a very special partner, the President, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire. Can we please clap hands for him?
Please be seated. Docteur Patrice Motsepe, président de la Confédération africaine de football, Monsieur Gianni Infantino, président de la Fédération internationale de football,
President of FIFA,
Madame
ladies and gentlemen, ministers of sports
de la République démocratique du Congo,
from DRC, Namibia, Botswana,
ministre des Sports,
and ministers of sport, Minister of Sports for Côte d'Ivoire, distinguished members of cabinet in Côte d'Ivoire, ladies and gentlemen, the vice presidents of CAF, ladies and gentlemen, members of EXCO,
Monsieur le secrétaire général de
the
la
Honorable Secretary General for CAF, distinguished members of affiliated federations to CAF, the Honorable President of
Mesdames et
KUANZIA,
Messieurs les participants à la
distinguished
45e
participants in the
Assemblée
45th
générale
Ordinary
de la
General
CAF,
Assembly of CAF,
chers amis des médias,
distinguished friends
Mesdames
of
et
the
Messieurs.
media, ladies and gentlemen,
nous voici ici réunis
here we
pour la
are
45e
gathered
Assemblée
on the occasion
générale
of the
ordinaire
45th Ordinary
de la
General Assembly
Confédération
of
africaine de
the
football
Confederation
en
of
Côte
African
d'Ivoire.
Football, which is taking
Événement
place in Côte d'Ivoire.
historique.
A historic
Cette
event,
rencontre de haut
this
niveau
high-level
des
meeting
instances de la
of the
Confédération
governing
africaine
bodies
de
of the
football,
Confederation
la
of
CAF,
African Football,
est
CAF,
assurément pour la Côte
is
d'Ivoire qui s'en
undoubtedly
honore
so for Côte d'Ivoire, which is honored
d'être le pays
to
hôte
be the
pour la
host
première
country
fois de
for the
son
first
histoire.
time in its history,
63 ans
63
après
years after
l'affiliation à la CAF
the affiliation of the Ivorian Football Federation to CAF in 1996. That this is therefore an event that goes down history lane as a major event and also comes at a time when our country has been selected to host the 2023 African Cup of Nations 40 years after the 1984 event. What a surprising and happy coincidence.
Monsieur le Président de la FIFA,
Mr. President of FIFA, Mr. President of CAF, distinguished guests and delegates on this occasion, as you can imagine, you are being welcomed by the whole of Côte d'Ivoire and on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Alassane Ouattara, President of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to you by saying very warmly, Akwaba. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to the President of CAF, his Secretary General, and the members of the EXCO, for choosing Abidjan as the host city for this August Assembly. You are restating the confidence that your institution reposes in our country on the eve of the next African Cup of Nations. The holding of these August meetings speaks volume to the excellent cooperative ties that exist between CAF and our country. By closing, I would like to hail the exceptional presence of our African legends that are continuing to be a source of pride for our country. Distinguished participants, this is an opportunity for us to hail the exceptional achievements of our confederation. 66 years after the historic February 1957 meeting in Khartoum, which saw its official inception. Nearly 7 decades of marching that have not always been easy, but CAF has always faced up to these challenges with courage, resilience, and wisdom. Indeed, it has been able to face up to the complex and multifaceted challenges linked to the evolution of football and to internal and external shocks to African states, be it political, economic, or social. This glorious and sometimes epic journey has only been possible thanks to the wisdom, commitment, and determination of men and women who, after year and year, have carried high the ideal of fraternity and healthy emulation that football conveys. From the first president, Abdelaziz Abdallah Salem, to President Patrice Motsepe, legions of worthy men and women have led our clubs, federations, and sportsmen and women towards the ideal of African football, a factor of togetherness and showcasing a continent of passion, warmth, joy, and victory. I would like to pay them a heartfelt tribute, for it is thanks to their efforts and perseverance that African football has reached a level of maturity that makes it one of the best and most promising in the world today. Greatly thank you. Thanks, Patrice. Our national sports have nothing to be ashamed of when compared to the most prestigious selection, the dream of African football, conquering and respected by the talent and genius of the men and women of a continent of fabulous wealth is becoming a reality indeed. Honorable President of CAF, dearest Patrice,
for all the efforts you're making on a daily basis for the profound transformation and development of our football on the continent, modernizing it, strengthening governance, and establishing a genuine economy of football, and therefore making CAF a powerful, rigorous, and efficient instrument serving football and the African youth. But again, once again, it's you. So it doesn't surprise us. Us who know you and your exceptional ability to commit and deliver. Thank you to be the friend of all. Thank you to be here. We are so happy to have you at home. To you, Mr. President of FIFA, dear Gianni, it's impossible to see you without remembering the masterful success of the last World Cup in Qatar. Your touch is driving the world football. Thank you for being here alongside your African brothers, to support them, to share your rich experience, and for the intense moments of hard work, as well as emotion and African warmth. I know that you already have it on your agenda, but please keep in mind daily that the whole continent, and Côte d'Ivoire in particular, is awaiting for you at the African Cup of Nations 2023. Distinguished participants, right here on November the 11th, 2022, at the occasion of the signing ceremony of the hosting agreement for the organization of CAN 23, I share with you our enthusiasm and our dream of organizing one of the best and the most beautiful African Cup of Nations. Today, the constant support of the dynamic Secretary General of CAF, Veron Mosengo Omba, as well as his dedicated team, is definitely one of the guarantees, believe me, that we will deliver. In front of the dignitaries of African and world football gathered very opportunely on the occasion of the General Assembly here today, I would like once again to express, on behalf of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, and the people of Côte d'Ivoire, how excited we already are to have you all here in our beautiful country to attend this prestigious competition. Côte d'Ivoire awaits you with open and heartful arms. Mr. President of FIFA, Mr. President of CAF, honorable delegates, member of the media, it is with these words of commitment and conviction that I would like to close my welcome remarks. I wish you all, on behalf of the President Alassane Ouattara, his government, and the local organization committee and its member, a successful 45th General Assembly of the Confederation of African Football. And please, I know my friend, Gianni and Patrice. I know why you are here for sure. I know it is important. It is your work, and they will make you work. But please, don't let them lock you up 24 hours a day in the room, working like hell. There is too many things to see in this beautiful city of Abidjan. Take a couple of hours, still a couple of hours, for sightseeing, taste our great food, and naturally, nightlife. Thank you all for your attention. Have a blessed day.
We've just got a small gift for you. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. So, can we please once more clap hands for our Prime Minister? Thank you. Yeah. And just a small token on behalf of the 54 countries on the continent that are members of CAF, and we're honored to have our brother JIONI as well. Would like to hand over a small token of our appreciation. Can we clap hands for the Prime Minister once more? Thank you very much. Now, everybody heard why we are all so excited and so confident that the best AFCON is going to take place right here next year. And I know our brothers and sisters in the media will now also be convinced, because I keep hearing people saying, President, is Côte d'Ivoire ready? Is Côte d'Ivoire ready? Have you got a plan B and a plan C? I only have a plan A, and the plan A is Côte d'Ivoire. Thank you so much. Thank you. Once more, can we clap hands for our Prime Minister? Thank you so much. And greet Prime Minister, greet everybody at home. Prime Minister, greet your family. I had beautiful food at your house, and we are so thankful to everybody at home. Thank you so much. We're now going to move on, and I'm going to ask our brother, the General Secretary of CAF, to do the roll call. Veron.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Afrique du Sud.
South Africa.
Présent.
Present.
Algérie.
Algeria.
Présente.
Present.
Angola.
Angola.
Présent.
Present.
Bénin.
Benin Republic.
Présent.
Present.
Botswana.
Botswana.
Présent.
Present.
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso.
Présent.
Present.
Burundi.
Burundi.
Présent.
Present.
Cameroun.
Cameroon.
Présent.
Present.
Cap-Vert.
Cape Verde.
Présent.
Present.
République centrafricaine.
Central African Republic. Present.
Comores.
Comoros. Present.
République du Congo.
Republic of Congo. Present.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Présent.
Present.
Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Présent.
Present.
Égypte.
Egypt.
Présent.
Present.
Érythrée.
Eritrea.
Présent.
Present.
Eswatini.
Eswatini.
Présent.
Present.
Éthiopie.
Ethiopia. Present.
Gabon.
Gabon.
Présent.
Present.
Gambie.
The Gambia.
Présente.
Present.
Ghana.
Ghana.
Présent.
Present.
Guinée.
Guinea.
Présente.
Present.
Guinée équatoriale.
Equatorial Guinea. Present.
Kenya.
Kenya.
Présent.
Present.
Lesotho.
Lesotho.
Présent.
Present.
Libéria.
Liberia.
Présent.
Present.
Libye.
Libya.
Présente.
Present.
Madagascar.
Madagascar.
Présente.
Present.
Malawi.
Malawi.
Présente.
Present.
Mali.
Mali.
Présent.
Present.
Maroc.
Morocco.
Présent.
Present.
Maurice.
Mauritius.
Présent.
Present.
Mauritanie.
Mauritania.
Présent.
Present.
Mozambique.
Mozambique.
Présent.
Present.
Namibie.
Namibia. Present.
Niger.
Niger. Present.
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Présent.
Present. Present. Uganda.
Présent.
Present.
République démocratique du Congo.
Democratic Republic of Congo. Present.
Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Présent.
Present.
Sao Tomé.
Sao Tome.
Sénégal.
Senegal.
Présent.
Present. Seychelles.
Sierra
Present.
Leone.
Sierra Leone. Present.
Somalie.
Somalia. Present.
Soudan.
Sudan.
Présent.
Present.
Soudan du Sud.
South Sudan.
Présent.
Present.
Tanzanie.
Tanzania.
Présent.
Present. Chad.
Présent.
Present.
Togo.
Togo.
Présent.
Present.
Tunisie.
Tunisia.
Présent.
Present.
Zambie.
Zambia.
Présent.
Present.
Zimbabwe.
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 Hey, you're supposed to write. Okay.
I think they'll be joining us very soon. They said that they're on the way. Yeah.
President, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the representatives of 6 zonal unions of the CAF, and we have reached the quorum, Mr. President.
Merci beaucoup, mon frère Veron. Merci beaucoup. I am now. I will proceed to the next agenda item, which is the verification that the notification and composition of the Ordinary General Assembly complies with the provisions of the CAF statutes. Veron.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Executive Committee of CAF took the decision on Sunday, 26 January 2023, to summon the 45th General Assembly of CAF on July 13, 2023 in Benin, Cotonou, 10 a.m. local time. The venue was changed to Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, following the decision of the ESCO taken after the circulation mode in June 26, 2023. So pursuant to Article 17, paragraph 5, 6, and 7 of the Statutes of CAF, the Secretariat of CAF has sent the following mail to the member associations and the zonal unions. On March 10, 2023, 120 days prior to the Ordinary General Assembly, the letter notifying the member associations and the zonal unions of the date and the location of the Ordinary General Assembly. On May 10, 2023, 60 days prior to the Ordinary General Assembly, formal notification and agenda were sent to the member associations and the zonal unions. On June 13, 2023, at least 30 days prior to the Ordinary General Assembly, documents relating to the meeting of the General Assembly were sent to the member association. So in view of what I've just mentioned, I can confirm that the hosting of this Ordinary General Assembly is pursuant to the statutes.
Okay. Thank you. It's on? It's on? No. It's on? Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. We will now watch a brief video of the excellent performances of the African nations at the FIFA Qatar World Cup 2022, and the historic performances and the pride that all five of them executed their performances in Qatar, and in particular, Morocco made us very proud by making history. Can we clap hands for all of those nations, including Morocco?
It was a night to remember for Morocco once again. What a day here at the Education City Stadium.
Wabi Kazri going all the way through and scoring for Tunisia.
Kelly, Abubakar! Oh, Cameroon!
Towards Jeju, and it breaks free. And the opportunity is seized upon.
Ayu's ball again is ready. It's absolutely brilliant. And Julius takes advantage.
Youssef En-Nesyri hammering that one home from close range.
And a flick on!
And turned in by Collins Fry. No, Castelletto, the centre-back.
Yeah.
There's the header, it's in. Fama Jeju.
Here's Mensah, this is positive. Williams, Kudus, a Korean joy did not last for long.
Morocco booking their place in the quarter-finals for their first time ever.
The thrill of victory belongs to Ghana.
And Morocco, great pride.
They strained every sinew. They pushed themselves to the limit and beyond.
Abubakar, and it's Choupo-Moting. Cameroon are level.
From Douala on the Gulf of Guinea to Marua at its northernmost tip. Points between and beyond. Rise and celebrate a moment.
Once more, the 5 nations in Qatar made us all very proud, and as I said, we've made history. We made history. Fuzi, you can hear me, we made history. Every time Morocco played, in fact, Eto'o, I see Eto'o there, we were sitting together when Cameroon was playing Brazil, and when they scored, Eto'o ran. I was worried that he might run back to Cameroon. I said, stop him. We were all so excited. And Senghor, when Senegal played, very excited, and Kurt and Tunisia, and you, the people of Morocco, and the leadership that you and the Royal Moroccan Federation has provided has really made Africa and the 54 nations very proud. Can we clap hands for them once more? Okay. So a lot of my remarks are contained in the documents that we've circulated. I see my brother Moise. Welcome, Moise. It's good to see you. And you made us proud, and there's a wonderful delegation from the DRC. We all work together. We are all Africans, and it's very, very important that football brings us together. So the remarks I made are contained in the documents that we've circulated. I'm going to highlight a few issues and then proceed with the program. Just maybe 4 or 5 key points. The first is we've got an absolute clear understanding of what our objective is in relation to football, and we recognize that for many, many years, African football players have played exceptionally well, have been amongst the best in the world. And the key objective for us is to make sure that the quality of African football, the attractiveness, the appeal, the commercial viability, the capacity to sustain themselves financially is the key focus for us. And we are making good progress. We are making good progress, but there's still a long way to go. You will see in the documents we've identified those key issues where there's specific progress. We can see that the sponsors, the partners, the private sector, our governments, there's a huge amount of increased cooperation, but we are football people. We can play beautiful football, but what matters is we've got to score goals. We've got to score goals. We've got to win. We've got to win. And the core, the determinant of our success is what happens in every single one of the 54 nations in Africa. The test as to whether African football is succeeding, is growing, is becoming globally competitive is what is happening in each one of the 54 nations in Africa. And we look at the success of many of our nations, and particularly the 5 I spoke about. I go to Egypt, I see a beautiful world-class football development center for the youth, the support of the government, the cooperation, wonderful. And then you begin to see why Al Ahly, Zamalek, the Egyptian teams, the national team does very well and makes the continent very proud. I go to Algeria. I'm hosted by the head of state. I see the facilities. I see the commitment of the government, the commitment of the people of Algeria, the passion for football makes me proud. And then you begin to understand why Algerian football does so well and makes us proud. A few days ago, we were in Morocco. We had the Exco, and they were opening the headquarters of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, world-class facilities, world-class infrastructure. It helps if you've got a head of state and a government that's passionate about football. Makes us proud, and then you begin to understand why football in Morocco, football in Algeria, football in Egypt, football in Senegal. President Macky Sall Senghor always tells me, I'm supporting the national team of Senegal, And I say to President Macky Sall, thank you, my brother, but between the two of us, it's more important what Senghor says. Because the partnership is important. And when I go to Senghor, he confirms that the government of Senegal and many others. Idris said to me yesterday, Prime Minister, Minister of Sports, he said to me, Côte d'Ivoire is going to be in the finals in 2024 for the AFCON. I said, Idris, wonderful, wonderful. And of course, I wish all of the nations that are coming all of the best and success. If you look at the documents, we've emphasized that there are still 22 countries in Africa where the national team doesn't play football in the country because there are not stadiums that meets the FIFA and CAF standards. And this number has decreased because there used to be 33. So Veron has done very good work, the Secretariat has done very good work, the EXCO has done very good work. There's about 11 countries now over the last 2 years that have built stadiums and provided infrastructure to ensure that football, the national team and the clubs play football in the country, in the nation. Because we cannot really build and make progress in Africa if many of our nations cannot be watched by the citizens and the nationals of that country. So that is where the urgency continues, and this is where the member associations cannot build a stadium on their own. They cannot do it. This is where the partnership with government is so important. And I must say, I have really been positively surprised because we introduced the CAF President's Outstanding Achievement Award. And the first recipients of that award was His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco and President Kagame. I've had about 13 heads of states who say to me, but you must come and see what we are doing. We are doing good work. We are working together with the member associations in our country. We are cooperating, we are building stadiums, and that is excellent because we will be recognizing 2 more at the CAF Awards. And I must say I'm very happy and very excited that the intention, the focus I wanted from many of our countries to say, in a humble way, when we give you an award, when we recognize the head of state, is for us to say thank you so much on behalf of your country, but also on behalf of the continent. So I'm going to emphasize the partnerships because we can only develop football in our 54 nations when the partnerships with the governments are strong. The governments help us to build stadiums, to build facilities that are in line with the CAF and FIFA standards. We also need partnerships with the private sector because we also want the private sector. In many of our nations, we've got some of the best companies in Africa and in the world, and who are doing well in our countries. And we want them to do even more, even better. We want them to make more money in all of our countries in Africa. We also want them to sponsor and support football. As a business and as an enterprise, you cannot make a better investment to promote your product, to promote your business, than to support football in the countries where you're operating. So we're making good progress there, and I'm very excited, but there's still a long way to go. We have to to consistently reduce the number of the countries, as I said, that are still playing football outside their countries. I'm going to talk a little bit quickly about the need for us to win on the field of play. We have to win on the field of play. We have to make watching football by our citizens, by football spectators, by the fans, it's got to be irresistible. It's got to be irresistibly appealing to the spectators and to the fans. And it starts in our countries, but also what I like is sometimes there are derbies when Zamalek plays Al Ahly, or when Wydad plays Berkane, or Berkane plays Raja, or all the other nations. I don't want to mention the ones in the south because there are too many of them. But the point I want to make is we have to recognize that there are two key parts in football. You know this as much as I do. Number one is to get the fans to come to the stadium because we play beautiful football. They like it. And it's appealing. We fill up the stadiums. I was in Guinea-Conakry 2 years ago on a Friday, and I saw 20,000 people in the stadium. So we've got to make sure that the quality of our football in every nation, and of course on the continent, is competitive and appealing. But what we also have to make sure is that in relation to specifically what happens, the money, the resources we get from the TV rights and from the other sponsorship to help in running the office, to help in making sure that the football administration is world class and we pay our people very well. I had meetings yesterday with the presidents of the zones, the 6 zones. And when you sit and talk to some of them, it's very interesting when you hear that, I don't want to mention which zone it is, where they said to me, President, we don't really need the money from CAF. We don't really need the money from, of course, I don't want to say they don't need the money from FIFA. We need money from CAF and FIFA. But the point they made to me is that we have so much support from our governments, and we've got so much support from the private sector. This is one of our zones, that we are competitive and we are self-supporting, and we see ourselves in terms of what you said, that we must compete at the highest level in the world, and we believe that one of our nations can indeed become champions of the world, can carry the FIFA World Cup and win the FIFA World Cup. Now that's excellent. And part of my job is to support them and to encourage them. They said to me they want my moral support. I said, well, I'll do more than give you moral support. I'll also ask the CAF members to pray for you, and because if we pray for you, you've got more than moral support. But what I'm emphasizing is, within Africa, we've got some of our nations and some of our member associations that have got sufficient resources, and we've got to encourage them to succeed. But then there are others. The first question is, we've got no money. Of course, we don't have a stadium, but thank you to the money we get from FIFA. Before Gianni Infantino became president, I think they got 250,000 or something. And now they get 1.5 million. It's 2 million. If you stay longer here, it's going to become 3 million. So I mean, what a significant change. Because from 250,000, we now have 1.5 million. It makes a huge difference. We emphasized from the minute I became president that part of what we want to do, and from a CAF perspective, is also consistently increase the money that goes to the member associations and the money that goes to the zonal unions, because that's important. But for some of the presidents of the member associations, the money they get from CAF and from FIFA, some of that money must be used to pay the president, because the president has got no other source of income. So what I'm saying is that part of our focus is to make sure that each and every member association, that there's significantly more increased financial resources, there's significantly more increase and a strengthening of the partnership with the government, and critically important, because if you look at Europe, you know, JJ Okocha said to me when we were playing football in, maybe I should say I was watching him play football, we were on the field together, and I kept away from him because he will most probably dribble me more than what I know. He said, listen, in Europe, they teach them how to play football. In Africa, God gives us the talent of playing football. A coach doesn't have to teach us. It's there. God has given it to us. So that's why we've got a huge amount of confidence that the progress that we are making, the talent we have in Africa will indeed result in an African nation winning the World Cup. But we also recognize that we've got to spend money on the coaches, spend money to coach the coaches, spend money to train, to provide academies for boys and girls, spend money to provide, to ensure that the professional football clubs, as well as the amateur clubs, as well as the national clubs, have sufficient resources in terms of academies. And another key important point for us is schools football, because schools football is very essential. We had about 50,000 schools, Veron, that played in the first African Schools Championship. I saw the girls from Tanzania, world class. And of course, we wish our girls who are in Australia and New Zealand all of the best. But those young girls who played in the schools football that won in South Africa, as well as the young boys from Guinea who played in the schools football, and they got $400,000 each as first prize. And that $400,000 is used to build facilities, football facility, but also educational facilities in those schools. So I want to re-emphasize the importance of all of us. Of course, the work of referees, training referees, and as I said, making sure that our players become technically as good as the best in the world, and we have a clear understanding that we've got to win on the field of play. My two concluding remarks. I repeat, if you look at the document I've given you, there's a whole list of things that we have done and a whole lot of things that we still need to do. But I want to emphasize two issues in relation to football and the role that all of us have to play. When I went to Nigeria, they said to me, when the Super Eagles play, there are no Northerners and there are no Southerners. We are all Nigerians. And this wonderful country, Côte d'Ivoire, I've had many of the football stars tell me how football has brought all our people together. When the national team plays, and the same applies to many other countries. We are all citizens of that country. We are all united. We are committed and passionate to the success of our national teams. So what I want to overemphasize is we recognize the critical importance of the successes we need to make on the field of play, and we need to succeed at the highest level in the world. But we also must take note of the importance of football to bring our people together. I saw Moise. It would be wonderful to have the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda and Uganda and some of our nations play football together, because football is a very important power and a tool to bring all of us together. What's happening in Sudan, we recognize that there's a role that we can play, and we always must be aware and conscious of the challenges that's confronted by many of our nations. I'm very proud of the cooperation that I see between Morocco and Algeria. We had a beautiful competition. We recognize that there are issues in many of our countries between our pure political issues. We recognize that and we respect that, but we also will continue with the commitment in our humble contribution to use football to unite our people across religious lines, across ethnic lines, and across racial lines. I think these are some of the core issues I wanted to emphasize, and just to repeat once more that we are confident that next year, Prime Minister Patrick pass on the message to President Ouattara that all of Africa will be here, all of the world will be here. We will indeed have the most successful CAN that Africa has ever seen. And Idris has assured the people of Morocco, the people of Côte d'Ivoire, and the people of Egypt and Senegal and Algeria and all of the other nations that they will be in the finals. I don't know which one are they going to play, but it's wonderful. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. Wish you all of the best. I'm told that there's a beautiful video of Côte d'Ivoire before the Prime Minister leaves. And you will see that what a beautiful, beautiful country for tourism, for investment, of course for football, this country is. Are they going to play it now? Okay, so let's see the beautiful video of Côte d'Ivoire.
La Côte d'Ivoire se prépare avec enthousiasme pour la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations 2023. 6 stades ont été construits et rénovés à travers le pays afin d'accueillir les matchs de la compétition. Parmi eux, le stade Félix Houphouët-Boigny à Abidjan, le stade olympique Alassane Ouattara à Ibimpé, le stade Charles Konan-Banny à Yamoussoukro, le stade de la Paix de Bouaké, le stade Laurent Pokou à San Pedro et le stade Amadou Gon Coulibaly à Korogo. Avec des capacités d'accueil allant de 20 000 à 60 000 places, ces stades offrent des infrastructures modernes, des pelouses de qualité, des centres d'entraînement, des cités Cannes pour certains d'entre eux et promettent une expérience exceptionnelle aux joueurs et aux supporters lors de la CAN 2023.
Ce sont donc 6 grands stades aux standards internationaux qui ont été érigés, ainsi que 24 terrains d'entraînement, sans compter toutes les infrastructures sportive et d'hébergement réalisée pour faire de cette compétition une compétition exceptionnelle et inoubliable pour tous les amoureux du football.
La Coupe d'Afrique des Nations est bien plus qu'un événement sportif. Elle est un rassemblement des peuples, une célébration de l'unité et de la diversité africaine.
Ensemble, nous construisons l'avenir du football africain. À Kwaba en Côte d'Ivoire, où l'excitation de la compétition se mêle à l'ambition.
En tant que Premier ministre de la République de Côte d'Ivoire, je suis honoré de vous affirmer notre engagement dans la préparation de la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations 2023. Nous avons travaillé avec détermination sous le leadership du président de la République, son Excellence M. Alassane Ouattara, pour construire des infrastructures de qualité afin d'accueillir ce prestigieux tournoi continental, 40 ans après Côte d'Ivoire 84, notre dernière organisation de la CAN. Notre objectif est de créer un environnement propice à la compétition, à la fraternité, à la célébration du football africain et à la découverte des multiples richesses de notre beau pays. Nous sommes déterminés à offrir une expérience mémorable à tous les participants et nous travaillons sans relâche pour garantir que tout se passe dans les meilleures conditions possibles. Ensemble, nous allons créer des souvenirs inoubliables car la CAN 2023 sera un moment de rassemblement et d'unité pour notre nation, pour notre continent et bien au-delà. Nous sommes prêts à vous accueillir avec chaleur et enthousiasme. Bienvenue en Côte d'Ivoire, bienvenue à la CAN 2023, la CAN de l'hospitalité.
Beautiful video. The Prime Minister has asked that he be excused. So I'm going to ask my first Vice President to go to the Prime Minister and usher him out of the meeting. Can we all clap hands to our Prime Minister? It's a wonderful combination. Senegal and Côte d'Ivoire, that's a beautiful combination. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Prime Minister. Let's clap hands once more as the Prime Minister leaves us. Idris, you are not part of government. You must come back. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you. All right, let's proceed. Thank you so much. Bruder, good to see you. Before we move on to the next agenda item, I see people are greeting the Prime Minister as he goes out, so I'll just pause for a minute. Thank you so much. I will now ask our General Secretary to explain the voting process. Veron.
Thank you, Mr. President. You have received 3 cards, the green, the yellow, and the red, to express or manifest your opinion on the different topics and votes that will be subjected to this General Assembly. So, if you agree with the proposal, please raise your green card. Hold them up for at least 15 seconds to allow the scrutineers to check. If you disagree with the proposal, please raise your red card, which means no. If you abstain, please raise your yellow card. Thank you, Mr. President.
Veron, if I'm still thinking and I want to make up my mind, which card must I raise? A yellow one, okay. Can we, I will now ask, we are now on agenda item F, which is the designation of 3 members to check the official minutes for approval. Veron?
Thank you, Mr. President.
What the Secretary General is going to do is he's going to check the official minutes of this meeting. The scrutineers will check the minutes of this meeting, the 45th CAF Ordinary General Assembly. Veron?
Thank you, Mr. President. The CAF Secretariat proposes 1. Central African Republic for the French version of the minutes. 2. Eswatini for the English version of the minutes. And 3. Libya for the Arabic version of the minutes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Merci, my friend Veron. If you agree with this proposal, please raise your green card. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, raise it high so that we can see it. Thank you so much. Very good. If you disagree with this proposal, please raise the red card. Thank you. If you abstain, raise your yellow card. Thank you. We are now moving forward to agenda item G, designation of scrutineers. I will now ask the General Secretary to propose the designation of 3 member associations as scrutineers.
Thank you, Mr. President. The CAF Secretariat proposes 1. Senegal, Wafu Ufua A, Nigeria, Wafu Ufua B, and Somalia 3, Sekafa.
The scrutineers shall help the General Secretary to conduct elections and count the votes expressed by a show of hands. The scrutineers shall also distribute and count the ballot papers. If you agree with this proposal, please raise your green card. Thank you. If you disagree with this proposal, please raise your red card. Okay. If you abstain, please raise your yellow card. Thank you so much. We will now go to the approval of the minutes of the previous General Assembly. I will ask our Secretary General, Veron Musenga-Omba, whether the Secretariat circulated the minutes of the 44th CAF Ordinary General Assembly, which took place in Arusha, Tanzania on Wednesday, 10 August 2022.
Yes, Mr. President, in compliance with the articles of CAF statutes, the minutes of the 44th CAF Ordinary General Assembly were circulated to the members on November 10, 2022, within 90 days of the closing of the General Meeting. The CAF Secretariat did not receive any comments or observations from the member associations within 60 days of the dispatch of the minutes.
Sorry. We will now approve the minutes of the 44th CAF Ordinary General Assembly. If you approve these minutes, please raise your green card. Thank you. If you do not approve these minutes, please raise your red card. Thank you. If you abstain, please raise your yellow card. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. We are now moving to the next agenda item. The activity report covering the period since the previous General Assembly meeting, inclusive of the zonal unions activity reports, has been circulated to all members. Let us now watch some of the highlights of the CAF activities since the last Ordinary General Assembly.
Creating a culture of excellence and globally competitive and self-sustaining CAF is CAF President Dr. Motsepe's overriding ambition in turning around the organization. While the road ahead is still filled with challenges, African football is on an irreversible path to progress. At the heart of this is about investing in development and the future of Africa. Investing in women's football, referees, and development has seen CAF double its spending in these areas. VAR is introducing VAR centers known as VAR hubs, which will be established in the 6 zonal unions, showing a commitment to facilitating VAR training workshops for elite referees. We are working hard to create globally competitive competitions. In the last financial year, CAF increased prize money to football by 40%, ensuring that money to CAF goes back to football. The quality of the TV production remains key in unlocking the future of African football, and that is why CAF is doubling its investment in production, content, and servicing our rights holders. CAF is producing world-class TV product. To achieve those objectives, Dr. Motsepe recognizes the power of building strong partnerships between heads of states, the private sector, and member associations, resulting in improved infrastructure investment and development.
Because African unity is a crucial component of football development and economic development.
Can we clap hands for that, please? Veron is sending a message. When the next video plays, just increase the volume. It was a bit soft. We will now go to agenda item number J, the presentation of the audited statement of accounts for approval. I will invite the President of the Finance Committee, Mofre Fuzi-Legja, to present the CAF audited statement of accounts for the year 2021 to 2022. Mofre Fuzi. Following this presentation, will you, Fuzi? Yeah. Fuzi, you must show them that you can dribble, you know. What is dribble in French? Dribbling. Also same thing. Dribbling, yeah.
Monsieur le Président
Fuzi,
de
dribbling,
FIFA,
dribbling.
Monsieur le Président de la CAF,
Mr. President of FIFA, Mr. President of CAF, dear colleagues, members of the Executive Committee, dear colleagues, members of national federations, before I start presenting the audited statement of accounts of the financial year 2021-2022, I would like, on their behalf, I promised this at the Finance Committee meeting, I would like to commend the new team in charge of the financial management of the CAF that has made a qualitative improvement in terms of the financial management of the CAF. It is worth noting that CAF has settled over the past years in a net deficit that revolves around 50 million, and to assess to its just value or to evaluate to its just value this deficit, I would like to remind everyone that the flagship competition of the CAF, which is CAN, generates gross income of roughly 100 million. So, which means that CAF was abiding by this logic of having close to half of a competition such as the CAN to reach balance. So we have all of these factors. So I believe the restructuring of the administration, the positive prospects in organizing flagship competitions, notably the clubs competition that Mr. JIONI mentioned, puts CAF in positive, gives CAF a positive outlook. So this year was marked by a net reduction of this deficit, which has been brought to close to 4.2 million, with 188 million in income, and 92% of these proceeds, roughly 173 million, are coming from TV rights and sponsoring. The expenditure, 184.4 million, which naturally gives a net result of a narrowing of this deficit in comparison to previous years. So these accounts were certified without any reservations for the first time, and that is due to the serene management of all of the grievances, notably the one between CAF and the Garde, that was correctly provisioned. Thank you, Mr. President.
Merci beaucoup, mon frère Fuzi. Now that we've heard the presentation regarding the auditor statements of account, are there any questions? Has anybody got any questions on the presentation of the audited statement of accounts by mon frère Fuzi? Thank you. I will now invite Ahmed Magdi, the representative of Ernst & Young, to present their audit report on the CAF audited statement of accounts for the year 2021-2022. Mr. Ahmed Magdi. Oh, thank you. You can clap hands for him as well. I'm told you only clap hands for people who bring money. So, I mean, he's an auditor, we can clap hands for him as well.
Hello everybody, good morning. Thank you, Mr. President, for this invitation. Our opinion regarding to the audit report of the financial statement is a clean audit opinion, and the summarize of the audit report as follows. We have audited the accompanying financial statement of Confédération Africaine de Football, which comprises the statement of financial position as 30 June 2022, and the statement of comprehensive income and the statement of cash flow for the years ending, and notes to the financial statement including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statement presents fairly in all material respects the financial position of the entity as 30 June 2022, and its financial performance and its cash flow for the years and ended accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standard IFRS. It is our opinion regarding the financial statement. Thank you for listening, and I'm really happy for any question.
Okay. Thank you so much. We can clap hands for him again. Thank you. We can now vote for the approval of the auditor statements of accounts for the year 2021 to 2022. If you approve the auditor statement of accounts for the year 2021 to 2022, please raise your green card. Green card, green card. I see South Africa has got a black card. I don't know what the black card means then. Green card. All right. If you do not approve the auditor statements of accounts for the year 2021 to 2022, please raise your red card. Red card. Thank you. If you abstain, please raise your yellow card. Thank you. So the resolution, as the case is with the previous resolutions, were passed. The resolution has been adopted. Thank you very much. Let's move to the next agenda item. The report of the Audit and Compliance Committee. This report is for information. I now give the floor to the Vice President of CAF's Audit and Compliance Committee, Mr. Asindo from Togo, to present the report of the Audit and Compliance Committee. Mr. Asindo. Asindo, that's right. Mr. Asindo. We can clap hands for him as well. They say if you clap hands, he walks faster, which is good. Mr. Asindo.
Thank you very much, Mr. President of CAF, Dr. Mutsepe, Mr. President of FIFA, ladies and gentlemen, dear representatives of the football federations of Africa, I thank you for giving me the floor. I feel this presentation, I think this presentation will be projected. In any case, we still have to present. I would like to start by thanking you, because this intervention is quite special, Mr. President, because it marks the end of our tenure that was extended for a month. So on behalf of my colleagues, I promised during our meeting that I would extend their gratitude. And this year, the proceedings were marked by an improvement that is quite peculiar. Because at the level of CAF, we all know where we were in 2019 when this committee started. The CAF was close to the fault, but with courage and determination of the members and the EXCO, I believe the chairman of the Finance Committee has just given us pleasant news. I don't even believe our intervention is required, because what he said is a perfect reflection of what we had to say. But there are three key takeaways. The first one, as part of the improvement of governance, you have the oversight of works by the Internal Audit Division, which has enabled us to map out the risks of CAF, which was not the case in the past. And you also have the division of conformity that has enabled us to have the document on conflicts of interest for CAF. So that means that from here on out, the audit committee of CAF has two crutches to build on in order to assist or at least advise the representatives of national federations. My colleagues and myself, as I said previously, our assignment has come to an end, and I believe this is our last opportunity. So we would like to take advantage of said opportunity to say thank you. We advise and would like the representatives of the nations to approve the financial statements for the fiscal year 2022 as certified by the external firm that has just been on this lectern. That being said, that marks the end of our intervention. But since these opportunities don't come by all the time, allow me, Mr. President, with your permission, of course, to go back to the wise words of Mother Teresa of Calcutta, the late Mother Teresa, that was saying, if you enter a dark home, do not complain about this darkness. Be courageous enough and take a flashlight, turn it on, and ask your colleagues to turn on their flashlights as well. I believe, Mr. Motsepe, you have turned on your flashlight and you asked Mr. Veron to do as much, and the entire team behind you has done the same thing, and I believe that today CAF is walking in light, and this light is going to guarantee success and the victories to come. So on behalf of our committee, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart, and also to extend this gratitude to our authorities, the Federation of Togo and the government of Togo. Without their buy-in, it would have been difficult for me to be here due to the immense task that I had at hand. So thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, mon frère Sindo. Merci beaucoup. Let's move on to the next agenda item, the approval of the annual revised accounts. I'm told that Zimbabwe is here now. Since they've arrived, now since we were missing them for the last few years because they were suspended, can we please clap hands for Zimbabwe? Can we clap hands for Zimbabwe? Can the gentleman from Zimbabwe just stand up, and I want to see where is he? Where's the gentleman or the lady from Zimbabwe? Oh, let's clap hands for him. There's he. Thank you so much. So good to see you. Welcome back home. We will go on with the annual revised accounts and budget. For this agenda item, I will once more ask our brother Fuzi Legja to present the annual revised accounts and budget for the period 2023 to 2024 to this General Assembly for approval.
Thank you once more, Mr. President, for the fiscal year for which we've provided the audited accounts. We, Mr. President, we're moving from 125 million to round up the figures for FY 2022-2023, 131 million. And for the following year, 184.26. The overall expenses of our institution moving from 119 million in 2021-2022 to 125 for 2022-2023 to 156 million for 2023-2024. It is worth underscoring that CAF, our finance committee, has made a decision to revamp all the items in anticipation for all challenges. We have a bracket of 30 million, 34 2022-2023, 27.6 for 2024, which allows us, Mr. President, to have a shift to get into a deficit situation which skyrocketed to 24 million And we hope that all things will be in order with regard to incomings and a positive net income from 2023, 2024, with a net profit of 4.2 million, which will increase, to reach over 50 million, which will give CAF a cushion and allows CAF to play its role and be able to invest in line with the President's wishes to allow the youths to thrive. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, mon frère Fouzi. Merci beaucoup. Does anyone have a question for Mr. Lecture on the annual revised accounts and budget for the period 2023 to 2024? We will now proceed and with the votes, we can now vote for the approval of the annual revised accounts and budgets for the year 2023 to 2024. If you approve the annual revised accounts and budget for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, please raise your green card. Green card. Green card. Thank you. If you do not approve the annual revised accounts and budget for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, please raise your red card. Thank you. If you abstain, please raise your yellow card. Thank you. I request the scrutineers to please monitor the voting process. Thank you. The resolution has been adopted. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next agenda item, the appointment of auditors for approval. The EXCO would like to submit a proposal regarding the appointment of auditors. Mr. Fouzi Lecture, will you lead us on the proposal for the appointment of auditors in terms of the decision of EXCO?
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Donc,
Mr. Chair,
le comité exécutif de
the
la
EXCO of CAF has decided through a circular resolution dated 11th June 2023 to propose to the 45th OGA of CAF, which is later forfeiting, to extend the tenure of the audit committee, EY, Ernst & Young, up to the 46th Ordinary General Assembly of CAF.
Merci beaucoup, mon frère Fouzi. If you agree with the proposal submitted by the EXCO, the CAF EXCO, regarding the appointment of auditors, please raise your green card. Thank you very much. If you disagree with the proposal submitted by EXCO regarding the appointment of auditors, please raise your red card. Thank you very much. If you abstain, please raise your yellow card. I request the scrutineers to please monitor the voting. The resolution has been adopted. We now move to agenda item N for November. The consideration and proposal for amendments to CAF statutes and to the regulations governing the application of statutes, as well as to CAF General Assembly Rules of Procedure. At its meeting on 18 May 2023, the CAF Executive Committee proposed certain amendments to the CAF statutes and to the regulations governing the application of statutes, as well as to the CAF General Assembly's rules of procedures to the General Assembly. These proposed amendments have been circulated along with the documents of the General Assembly. It is now my honor to invite our brother, the first Vice President of CAF and Chairman of the Committee for Legal Affairs and National Associations, Augusta Senghor, to present the Executive Committee's proposed amendments to the CAF statutes and to the regulations governing the application of statutes, as well as to the CAF General Assembly's rules of procedure to the General Assembly. Can we clap hands for him, please? They always remind me that he is still champion of Africa. AFCON, Senegal is still champions of Africa. And he was saying to me, next year, if anybody wants to disturb Senegal, they're going to be in serious trouble. They want to retain the trophy. Please proceed, Senghor.
Thank you, President. Merci beaucoup.
Very much, Honorable President, President of FIFA, CAF, dear members of the EXCO, dear distinguished and dearest delegates, dear members of FIFA, on behalf of the EXCO, I'd like to provide a synopsis of the amendments which were enacted to our statutes and to the regulations and the regulations of the GA. I'd like to say, in line with Mr. President, that this document has been circulated, which is the longer version of amendments effected, and above all, providing the motivations for these amendments, which are not deep dive. These are clarifications and like clerical errors, oversights with regard to the statutes and to make things more, to make things clearer. But also, as it is not again saying that we have both English and French. And there were some mismatches between the English and the French, which could make room for interpretation or construction. Therefore, the legal department and our committee deemed it, the EXCO deemed it opportune to revamp these documents and tidy up these documents. Overall, the exercise is about revamping some of the articles in the statutes, article number 2 in particular, where in the French version we had to change handicap with disability, you know, as I said, to ensure some consistency linguistic-wise between the two versions. Along the same vein, we have article number 2, where we beefed up, where we fleshed up the provisions to ensure compliance with rules of governance and to the FIFA directors by adding some words that are deemed paramount with regard to audit, governance, and the international national parts. Article number 7, in particular, aims at fleshing up good governance in our associations to ensure consistency with provisions by FIFA, and we did advocate for the need to adopt and implement short safety and security rules of CAF, and we want to make sure that our competitions are in line with the calendar of FIFA and CAF calendar of events, which allow to ensure a smooth conduct of activities and to make the same competitions and the MA activities more attractive on the marketing level and otherwise. With regard to Article 13, which is related to zonal unions, these also caveatings or clarifications, because the nomenclature of zonal union should be caveated in line with the new provisions. Article number 14, as I said earlier, did discard a couple of words to avoid some redundancies and avoid misconstruction, especially when it comes to rapport between CAF and ZU's zonal unions. With regard to the OGA, henceforth, we are former audit committee in our legislation where we talking about audit. We are not talking about compliance and audit. We needed to update all our documentation, even in the rules of procedure. Overall, we also have, with regard to disciplinary, we have article number 45, graph 6, where we have new provisions related to disciplinary action against members or affiliates against members that are not participating in activities related to suspending leagues or clubs from participating in CAF competition for a minimal period of 2 years unless the league or club restores or justifies that the failure to participate were not incumbent upon them. The goal is to safeguard the merits of CAF competitions by meting out disciplinary actions against members that have no justifiable reason for participating in CAF activities. I think it is paramount for our confederation that all national associations should be able to participate in the full-fledged list of competitions, and this is the raison d'etre of these amendments with regard to article number 51 related to competitions. This is about ensuring consistency relative to the inception the planned inception of new competitions for the female league is already there. You needed to mainstream that into the body of text, just like for the African Super League. So this has been vetted by the committee during a meeting. We have a change in nomenclature name. The competitions will be added to our body of text, and this has been subject to an amendment in our statutes. With regard to the rules of implementation of FIFA statutes, this is the culmination of amendments effected to the statutes, and we needed to ensure consistency. The only item that I would like to raise is the amendment which was effected with regard to the mandate of the Finance Committee, where we did change control with advice. This aims to provide an advisory role to the Finance Committee rather than a control role. So I have already explained the nitty-gritties. I'm going to spare you those details at this point. And Article 16 of the same is related to the female championship league, and this is the consequence of the amendments effected to our fundamental text, the statutes, but the governing text and the provisions I deemed it opportune to share them with you and to following the EXCO. Thank you for your undivided attention.
Merci beaucoup, mon frère Augustin.
Thank you very much, my dearest friend Augustin.
We can now vote for the approval of the proposed amendments to the CAF statutes and regulations governing the application of the statutes, as well as the CAF General Assembly rules of procedure. If you approve the proposed amendments to CAF statutes and to the regulations governing the application of statutes, as well as to the CAF General Assembly's rules of procedures, please raise your green card. Green card. Thank you very much. If you do not approve the amendments to the CAF statutes and to the regulations governing the application of statutes, as well as the CAF General Assembly's rules of procedure, please raise your red card. Thank you. If you abstain, please raise your yellow card. Thank you so much. The resolution has been adopted. We will now move to agenda item O, the election of CAF Executive Committee members for the term 2023 to 2027. On 18 July 2019, the CAF General Assembly elected for a term of 4 years in accordance with Article 22, paragraph 8A and B of the CAF statutes, the following members of the CAF Executive Committee. Mr. Aishalmani, Mr. Senghor, Mr. Sangare, Mr. Mungengi, Mr. Magogo, and Mr. Soba. Their 4-year term expires after the 45th Ordinary General Assembly, and I would like to thank them for the excellent work they've done and their commitment to the development and growth of football on the African continent. Can we please clap hands for them? Thank you. The General Assembly will now elect candidates to fill the positions of the outgoing Executive Committee members. The list of the candidates for elections was annexed to the formal notification in accordance with Article 18, paragraph 8 of the CAF statutes. I refer you to the General Assembly formal notification that was sent to all member associations on 10 May 2023, containing the list of candidates seeking to be elected or re-elected to the CAF Executive Committee. There are 2 unopposed candidates, namely Mr. Augustin Senghor from Senegal, Wafu A, as well as Mr. Pierre-Alain Mungengi, Gabon Unifac. In accordance with Article 18, paragraph 12 of the CAF statutes, where there's a single candidate, he or she is elected unopposed by acclamation. I now invite the General Assembly to acclaim the 2 aforementioned candidates and therefore confirm the election of the CAF to the CAF Executive Committee. I will now give over the floor to our General Secretary to lead the voting process.
This morning, right before the inception of the General Assembly, we received the letter from the Burkinabe Federation, Burkina Faso, following the meeting of the Wafu B meeting that they had yesterday. They took the decision. Heard that candidate Lancé Lazare would withdraw. So Mr. Apogi from Togo is a candidate without any opposition, the only candidate from the Wafu Ufuabi Zonal Union. Thank you, Mr. President.
Hello.
That being clarified, I hope you can hear me. I would now like to present the voting process and the rules. There are 11 candidates for 6 positions at the EXCO. They all passed the eligibility requirements by an external body. 3 of them have already been elected. The 8 remaining are as follows. For the Committee of Football Associations in Southern Africa, COSAFA, we have Mr. Walter Nyanumanda from Malawi, Mokose Philippe Mohapi from Lesotho, Mohamed Ali Sayoun Soba from Mauritius.
Conseil des associations de football d'Afrique de l'Est
et centrale CECAFA, we have 2 candidates. We have Dr. Mutashiu Biafa Katim from Sudan, Mr. Magogo Moses Assim from the Ugandan Football Federation. For the West,
the Fédération Ouest Africaine de Football, soit
African Football Union, we already mentioned that 1 candidate withdrew from the race, so the Togolese candidate is deemed elected. For UNAF, we have 2 candidates, Zefizef Jahib Abdullahab Wahab from the Algerian Football Federation, Abdul Hakim Salmani from the Libyan Football Federation. That's for UNAF. So I would like to bring to your attention some relevant rules relating to this voting process. Pursuant to Article 18 of the CAF statutes, we have secret ballot voting. Pursuant to Article 17, paragraph 9 of the statutes of the CAF, each member association is entitled to 1 vote. Pursuant to Article 18, paragraph 11 of CAF statutes, to be declared the winner of an election of the EXCO, a candidate has to receive absolute majority, meaning half of the expressed votes plus one vote. Now, voting procedure pursuant to Article 18, paragraph 18 of the CAF statutes, only members that are present and that have been given mandate to vote are entitled to vote, and we have to check the list of voters before the ballots are handed to them. Right before us, we have transparent zones, we have ballots that are displayed near the voting stations. We also have booths. They're not really booths, but these are areas that allow discretion to exercise your voting right. There's a list of voters. We'll have two lists on either side. One list to check the identity, meaning the CAF administration will check that it is the actual person that will be exercising their voting right. And once you have voted, once you have exercised your voting right, once you have selected the candidates that you would like to elect, I would like to specify that it is one candidate per zone. If in the same zone you tick several boxes, this is an invalid ballot. So you see that you need to check the box of the candidate you want to elect. So please, after you've done so, fold your ballot and put it in the transparent box, the two transparent boxes that we have. And then we have a third station over there where you are going to sign that it's you. So the administration and the voter concur that he has indeed exercised his voting right. So here you have it, Mr. President, that's for the procedure. So it is explained how you are expected to vote for your preferred candidates. Thank you, Mr. President.
So we are now going to vote.
Yes.
And Sengo said, please don't vote for me, please, because I'm the only one. Have they started the process now?
I will tell, no, I will call.
You will go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
Donc je vais appeler,
I'm going to,
deux positions,
since there are two areas to select your preferred candidate, I am going to call two candidates at a time, whilst the others are collecting their ballot papers. The others will get ready to follow in the interest of time. So South Africa, Algeria.
Honey, you're not allowed to go and smoke, please. You may not smoke.
Afrique du Sud, Algérie.
South Africa, Algeria.
You can go and smoke.
As our two delegates are making their way to the first voting station, we will ask Angola and Benin Republic to get ready.
Angola, Benin.
Angola, Benin Republic.
Just remind me that, yeah, good point. Just remind at the end, but also we should have paused for acclamation for the others and the plus, but we'll do all together. Clap hands for them. One by one.
Botswana, Burkina Faso.
Botswana, Burkina Faso.
These people's flags are in West.
Arthur.
Arthur.
Une fois déposé votre
Once your ballot paper has been dropped inside the ballot box, you have to sign indicating that you have indeed voted.
Burundi, Cameroun.
Burundi, Cameroon.
Cap Vert, République centrafricaine.
Cape Verde, Central African Republic.
Comores, République du Congo.
Comoros and Republic of Congo.
Côte d'Ivoire, Djibouti.
Côte d'Ivoire, Djibouti.
Côte d'Ivoire, Djibouti.
Côte d'Ivoire, Djibouti.
Égypte, Érythrée.
Egypt, Eritrea.
Égypte, Érythrée.
Egypt and Eritrea.
Intéressant.
Eswatini, Éthiopie.
Eswatini, Ethiopia.
Eswatini, Éthiopie.
Eswatini and Ethiopia.
Gabon, Gambie.
Gabon and the Gambia.
Ghana, Guinée.
Ghana and Guinea.
Guinée-Bissau, Guinée équatoriale.
Guinea-Bissau and Equatorial Guinea.
Il faut les amener ici. Kenya, Lesotho.
Kenya, Lesotho.
Liberia, Libye.
Liberia and Libya.
Madagascar, Malawi.
Madagascar, Malawi.
Madagascar, Malawi.
Madagascar, Malawi.
Mali, Maroc.
Mali, Morocco.
Mali, Maroc.
Mali, Morocco. Mauritius, Mauritania.